Shalom. Today I'm going to talk to you about why we don't know the law. And it's a easy answer to why we don't know the law. There's not many teachers of the law, and the people don't hear the law. First of all, that word law, it comes from the Hebrew word 8451. And that Hebrew word is Torah. Most people know it as Torah, but the Hebrew word is Torah. Okay, I want to break this word down letter by letter, and this is the word here that you see. The first letter is the Tu. In modern is Tav. The next letter is the U, and in modern is Wa or Vav. Then you have the Resh and the Hey. The Tu means covenant, mark, and sign. So this law, this Torah is a covenant, and it's a mark and it's a sign. And Hey is lo, behold, and the window. So we're being told through the letters that we are to behold, or lo and behold, this covenant. And window, you see through a window, and so this Torah will reveal. It's a revealer, and it reveals his instructions. Now let's go into what it actually means. And this is what it means. Of course, we know law. It means law, direction, instructions. So here we're seeing that it's direction. We are being directed, and it's giving instructions, and it's also the body of the priestly direction or instructions. So it's a body of priestly direction and instruction, also a body of prophetic teaching. So you see we have prophecy in the law, and many don't know that there's prophecy in the law, and still today is prophecies in the law that has yet been fulfilled. Now I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 5:1. And Moshe called all Yasharal and said unto them, Hear, O Yasharal, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that they may learn them and keep them and do them. So the thing that Moses did, he instructed them to hear it. And when they hear it, they will learn it. And when they learn it, they will keep it. And when they keep it, they will do it. And this is one of the reasons that today we don't know it, because we've never sat down and had someone read it to us and we hear it in our ears. But this is how they did it. And this is what I'm doing here today. I'm showing you the reason why we don't know the law. This is Joshua 8, and I'm going to read a portion of 33, 34, and 35. In 33, and all Yasharal and the elders and the officers and the judges stood on the sides of the ark before the priests and the Levites. And I want to also read as well as the strangers. So there were strangers there also. Verse 34. And after he read all the words of the law, the blessings and cursing, according to all that is written in the book of the law. So here we have Joshua reading all the words of the law, the blessing and the cursing, according to that what was written in the law. And you must ask yourself a question: when have we ever sat down and allowed someone to read all the words of the law and we heard it in our ears? That does not happen in churches today. That doesn't happen even in the congregation of the camps that's out. I haven't seen anyone do this, and especially in the churches. If anyone seen this, please let me know. Verse 35. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded which Joshua read not before the congregation of Yasharal, the women, the little ones, the strangers that were covenant among them. So it was read in front of all, and it was not one word that's in the law that wasn't read. And so this is how, we know the saying, faith come by hearing. This is how they knew the law. It was read to them. I'm going to go to Nehemiah 8 and verse 1. I'm going to read down through 12. It says, and all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the gate, and they spoke unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which Yahuwah had commanded Yasharal. Now here, this is them coming out of captivity, and they have the book of the law. They hadn't been hearing it. They haven't been reading it. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both men and women, and all that could hear with understanding, upon the first day of the 7th month. So we know that was a holy day. The first day of the 7th month is the Feast of Trumpets. And he read therein before the street that was before the water gate, from the morning till midday. So Ezra read from morning to midday the words of the law before the men, the women, and those that could understand, and the ears of all the people that were attentive unto the book of the law. And Ezra the scribe stood up upon a pulpit of wood, which they had made for the purpose, and beside him stood, he had 6 on one side and 6 on the other, and 7 on the other side. And Ezra opened up the book, verse 5. He opened up the book in the sight of all the people, from he was above all the people. He was up on a platform. And when he opened it, all the people stood up. So they was giving reverence to the word here. And Ezra blessed Yahuwah, the great Elohim, and all the people answered, so be it, so be it. I don't like that amen. I don't use it. That's another subject. But when lifting up their hands, they bowed their heads and worshiped Yahuwah with their faces to the ground. And if you seen my previous video that I put up about worship, many don't know what worship is, have no idea, have no clue. It simply means bow down. So this is what they're doing right here as an example of worship. Okay, it says, and the Levites caused the people, as he read the law, you had the Levites and others, they caused the people to understand the law, and the people stood in their place. So they read in the book of the law of Elohim distinctly, and gave the sense, and caused them to understand the reading. So they gave them sense. They distinctly went over the law, and they caused the people to understand. How can we do the law when we don't know the law? So, and you will have no excuse once you know the law. See, they knew the laws, and they was without excuse when they didn't perform it or didn't do it. He expects us to keep his commandments. Okay. And they were told that this day is holy unto Yahuwah Elohim. He said, mourn not, nor weep. For all the people wept when they heard the words of the law. So they haven't heard the word of the law, and when they did hear it, the people wept. It had to have been a joyous time for them. Then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat, drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is Kadash, or holy unto Yahuwah. Neither be sorry For the joy of Yahuwah is your strength. So they're being told, go eat and share with the unfortunate, share with the poor. So the Levites called all the people, saying, hold your peace, for this day is Kadash, holy, neither be grieved. And all the people went their way. They ate, they drank, they did send the portions to the poor. And because they had understood the words that was declared to them. And that's the key point. They understood the words that was declared to them. How can anyone that's sitting in any Christian churches, how can they understand the word unless someone declared to them? And there's no one to declare them, because we have not seen this practice on earth today. I haven't. Again, if anyone's seen this, let me know. Where they just sit down, no preaching, just read the word to the people. We don't see it. If you don't have time, but if you go on and read the rest of the story, this was the same month we're about to go enter into. It was a holy month, and you have the Feast of Tabernacles Atonement, and they was coming up on the tabernacle, and that's another thing that's in the law that the people are supposed to read. And I'm going to go into that also from the book of the law. This is Proverbs 1:8. And it reads, my son, hear the instructions of thy father. He's saying, my son, my daughter, hear the instructions of your father, and forsake not the law of your mother. So he's telling us to hear these instructions. We just learned that part of that word Torah is instructions. And he says, forsake not the law of your mother. In Deuteronomy 31, and I'm going to try to get this in, and I may not. I'm starting at the 9th verse. And Moses wrote the law, and delivered unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and unto the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, so this is the year of release, in the Feast of Tabernacles, when all of Yasharah is to come before Yahuwah the Elohim in the place which he chooses, which is Jerusalem, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. So this is what they did. This was normal practice for them. And this is what we don't do. And it says, gather the people together, men, women, children, strangers, whoever was within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim, and observe to do all the words of this law. So again, people, you cannot learn to fear the Most High when you don't know what's written in his law. And this fear of the Most High, many do not have because they don't understand what it means. I'm going to do another video on the fear of the Most High, and I'm going to need some time on that one. And the children and their children, for they have not known anything, may hear and learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim, as long as you live in the land where you go to possess, over to Jordan to possess. So this is for, we are instructed for our kids to hear the words of the law. They need to know the ways of the Most High, that they may live. And let me see. My time is short. I'm not going to get it done. Verse 14, and Yahuwah said unto Moses, behold, thy days approaches, that you shall die. Call Joshua and present yourself at the tabernacle congregation, that I may give him a charge. That Moses and Joshua went in the presence of the congregation in themselves in the tabernacle. And I'm going to have to stop right here. Let me read. Let me see. Did I skip 13? No, I did get that. That they may hear, they may learn to fear Yahuwah. Shalom.